Let us see some more pictures of nature, shall we? Let us start. Nice chapter, very nice. That's Ruskin Bond. And so, it's now March, so we are back again, end of winter. So we moved from the beginning of monsoon to the end of winter, and we have now come to the warm sunshine and so on. And so the black cloud I've ever seen squatted over Missouri, and there was the black cloud, and so from this cloud there was storm, hailstorm. So from these black clouds, and there it is, monsoon starts once again. The rains start. So from rain to no rains, to snowfall, to no rain, some rain, and again the rain starts once again. Beautiful movement, wasn't it? That is the beauty of nature. Okay, let's look at the comprehension check exercises. Can you see them at the bottom of the page? Right. When does the monsoon season begin and when does it end? How do you prepare to face the monsoon? This could be related to what has been said in the text. It could also relate to your own life. So you can look at all those exercises and so on, and you can read them and discuss them with your friends. Let's move on. Let's turn the page over and let's look at the second exercise, which is on working with the text. Fairly easy for you now, I suppose. It says, look carefully at the diary entries for June 24, 25, August 2nd, March 3rd. Now write down whatever the changes you see there, and so on and so forth. You can do that fairly simply. But then come to exercise number 4. There. It says, complete the following sentences. Biju is not seen, but his voice is heard because, right, there is the mist, and so you cannot hear Biju's voice. The writer describes the hill station and valley as, you can complete it in your own words and you can work with all your friends and so on. Let's move on. So that exercise and all the others we can handle. Let's look at briefly at exercise number 5. It says, although tin roofs are given to springing unaccountable leaves, that means tin roofs can give us very surprising leaks. From nowhere there is suddenly a leak there. There is a feeling of being untouched by and yet in touch with the rain. So you are almost in touch with the rain, but at the same time, because of the tin roof, you are not in touch with rain, and so on. So now it says, why has the writer used the word springing? You know spring? It just goes like that, and that's a little surprise. You are not prepared for that, and suddenly there is a surprise, and so there is springing because of this surprise there. How is the writer untouched by the rain? Fairly simple. You can certainly answer all that. Let's go further into working with language now. Here are some words which are given here, and you can add some more. Let's take a look at the words first. It says, for example, downpour. You understand downpour? Downpour is the rain falling. Floods. Mist. Now you know the word very well. Cloudy. Power cuts. Are there power cuts in your area? Cold. Does it get very cold in your area? Umbrella. You take one to the school also sometimes. And so you can look at all these words and you can add some more from your own experience in your area, whatever you want, and then you move into the next exercise where, for example, you use a lot of the past tense and so on. Look at page 119. It says, for example, look at the top there. Put the verbs in the brackets into their proper forms. The first one is done for you. We get out of the school bus, the bell ring and everyone rush to class. When we put it slightly in the past, we say we got out of the school bus. Why did we get out of the school bus? Because the bell was ringing and everyone was rushing to class. So we had to get out of the school bus and run. Now you can do the rest of them very easy. Look at exercise number 3 there. The class is quiet. Some children read books and the rest draw, and so on. Here are some words from the lesson which describe different kinds of sounds. You can always describe sounds in many ways. Drum, swish, tinkle, caw, drip. Can you fill in all those sentences or match these words with their correct meanings now? Can you work with your friends? Let's do only the first one there. It says to fall in small drops. What is the right word there? Drip. Where do you find a drip? We see it in this lesson, no doubt. But have you seen a drip somewhere else? I'm sure you have. Go to a hospital. The patient will be lying there and there will be a bottle up there with a liquid which is put in the inverted way, and from that there is a pipe which is going on into the patient's, there is a little needle there into the vein there, and that's also called a drip. Why is it called a drip? Because if you observe it very carefully, the liquid will be dropping one small drop at a time, and that's called a drip. And so you give a drip to a patient who needs some energy and so on. Glucose drip. Here also we use the word drip. So what does drip mean? A drop at a time, small thing, not a continuous flow, but a drop, 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 and that's a drip, drip, drip. It drips. How beautiful, very nice. Okay, right. Now you can fill in the blanks using the correct form of the words given above and complete all those sentences on your own. Let's move on. Page 120 now, and look at exercise number 4. It says, and sure enough, I received a check in the mail. Sure enough, I received a check in the mail. Sure enough. And there are some more things which are given like sure enough. Very interesting. Let's look at them. Sure enough, kind enough, brave enough, colorful enough, big enough, foolish enough, serious enough, fair enough, anxious enough. See how many words you can use with enough. That means definite, certainly, anxious enough. Oh my God, it was definitely anxious. We were definitely anxious, and so on. Now there is an exercise where you will fill in the appropriate enough related phrase here. I saw thick black smoke, clouds in the sky, and dash dash, it soon started raining heavily. So what will you finish it with? And sure enough, good, and so on. You can do that. Towards the end of the page, there is a small little speaking activity. This speaking activity talks of a small little idea, very interesting. It says, do you believe in superstitions? Do you know what superstitions are? All of us believe in lots of superstitions. I'll give you one or two small examples, you can understand that. One of the very famous and very popular superstition is that when we are going out, supposing there is a black cat which comes from our left and goes to our right, crosses our path, people say you should not go further, you should stop. Why? Well, we don't know. People will say, no, we don't know. That's the belief, that when there is a black cat crossing the way, then you should not move further. So you should stop, wait for some time, and then go. Oh, that black cat has already vanished. But this is one superstition. The other superstition, which is much more common, and I am sure you have experienced, is when you want to do something, sometimes the left eye, this eyelid starts twitching. Suddenly there is a little, it's coming closer, hitting, and it's called twitching. Now, they say that, oh, when the left eye twitches, it's a bad luck. Something bad is going to happen to you. Whether it happens or not, the belief is very much there. That's also a superstition. So we have lots of superstition. I am sure you have many more like that. And if you'll ask your parents, they will tell you many more. And with your friends, you can find out any number of such superstitions. Superstitions are beliefs. We believe in something like that. Okay, let's look at some writing task now. Turn the page over to see a beautiful picture on the next page, which is page 121. There's a lovely picture on this page. Look at that. Now, use this picture to write a paragraph about monsoons and your experience. Imagine you are there in that forest, surrounded by trees, fern, lots of greenery, birds, noises, and rain, raindrops, and you are getting wet, and so on. And that's where you can imagine you are sitting, or you are holding an umbrella, whatever, but you are going to write something about it. Can you? Good. You can write a poem also, it says. You can either write a paragraph or a poem. But then, now I want to conclude this lesson by introducing you to two people which are very important. You should know them. Both of them were interested in nature, and both of them worked with nature. You will see their pictures very soon. One is Mr. Saleem Ali. Have you heard of Mr. Saleem Ali? You should know about him. Mr. Saleem Ali from India, from Bombay, was what we call technically ornithologist. Ornithologist. And who is an ornithologist? One who watches birds. Mr. Saleem Ali has watched, has seen, has observed closely birds and birds and birds, and any number of them all over the country. So much so he was invited all over the world to record, to watch, to observe and record their bird habits. And so Mr. Saleem Ali, who is a Padma awardee from the government of India, is a world renowned bird watcher. You should take interest in bird watching, and when you do, you can find Mr. Saleem Ali everywhere. He has watched all these birds, and so you should know quite a lot about Mr. Saleem Ali. You have seen the picture there. The second person is an old lady, nearly 90, from Karnataka, and this lady is so old, but she is so well known now all over the world because of a very unique thing she did. First of all, her name is Timmakka. Timmakka. When she got married, she discovered that after some time that she is not going to have any child, no child. So what does she do? No? She immediately decides to plant trees. She says, trees are my children, and I am going to adopt these trees as my own children. So what does she do? She collects trees, small little plants, and starts planting them along roads on either side. And she goes from small roads to bigger roads to highways. And over the years, she plants thousands and thousands and thousands of trees and takes care of them, waters them, makes sure that they stand, they are very firm, they are strong, and they grow up very well. And eventually they grow into a big tree. And so today, wherever we see lots of these trees, many of them have been planted, not just by Timmakka, not just by her alone, but lots of volunteers, and she has lots of volunteers. And so today, she is known as, in Kannada, she is called Salumarada Timmakka. Salumara in Kannada means, Mara means tree, Salu means row. Rows of trees is called Salumara, and she is known as Salumarada Timmakka, Timmakka of Salumaras. So you should know about Salumarada Timmakka, who has contributed enormously for greenery and so on. So you heard about Saleem Ali, the one who observed birds in nature, and you heard about Timmakka, who planted any number of hundreds and thousands and lakhs of trees, and she was also awarded the Padma by the Government of India. She has been honored, and now she is invited all over, and she goes and speaks, and she speaks in Kannada, and somebody interprets the whole thing. How interesting. So today we saw lots of information about nature, so you know quite a lot. Nature can be very beautiful. It can have lots of things. It can have trees, it can have plants, it can have greenery. There can be change of color in nature. You heard about birds, you heard about noises. You read a lot about many colors, flowers, colorful flowers. Then you read about rain, the sound that the rain makes. You saw about the clouds, different colored clouds, heavy clouds, light clouds, sunlight, the beauty of sunlight, how it helps in the growth of plants, greens, reptiles, all these things which come out and so on. And finally, we read about two more important people besides Ruskin Bond. You should know about Ruskin Bond, you should know about Mr. Saleem Ali, and you should know about Salumarada Timmakka. Okay? Did you enjoy all these things? Good. You must work on a project where you prepare a chart and paste lots of things, photographs. You should also, now most of you, all of you are very good with your mobile phones. You must prepare, you must work on a movie on nature in your neighborhood, alone or with your friends. Plan. Certainly you must work on posters, pasting all kinds of things, pictures and so on, but also work on a movie. It will be beautiful. Thank you very much.